Let's look at ways to tame a motocross engine for enduro riding. This is usually by far the biggest issue with this type of conversion. On the first ride, I was having so much trouble on our steeper, tight tracks. I put on the G2 Throttle Tamer. At US $70, this made a huge difference immediately. It uses a cam to make the first half of the throttle open slowly, then the second half quickly. It allows us gumby riders to have far more control at smaller throttle openings. See our Throttle Tamer review here. Bang for buck, we figured the next best mod would be the Steely flywheel weight for US $130. This reduces the snappy engine response, makes the bike much less likely to stall, smooths out the power delivery, and helps to get traction. It came with good instructions, and even a gumby can fit this in 30 minutes or 3 beers, whichever comes first. We went for the 12-ounce flywheel weight. This seems to be the choice for these motocross to enduro conversions. A quick test after fitting. Wow, just as described. Suddenly I wasn't stalling the bike and the rear wheel wasn't spinning the moment I touched the throttle. I can see why a lot of riders put these on enduro bikes too, and especially how they would suit less experienced riders. It's interesting though that a lot of motocross riders use them too. Just pause to read some of this info from the Steely website. A cheap, easy mod with the KTMs is just changing and adjusting the power valve spring, which we covered a little in the previous video. I took out the aggressive red spring, put in the much milder green spring, which means it takes longer for the power valve to open. Well, here's our green spring, and if you look carefully you'll see the red one hiding on the inside there. So because this green spring is tougher, it means the power valve is going to open slower. And this bolt determines at what revs it will happen, so I've wound this out so it'll actually start to open sooner. So the theory is the power should start to kick in sooner, but more gradually. We'll see how it works. It's worth experimenting here. There are some riders who keep the aggressive red spring and prefer that rush of power around 6,000 RPM. You also have a yellow spring in between. We threw the Suzuki NECJ needle into the carb. This provides smoother power at low revs, less chance of fouling plugs, and less spooge out of the exhaust. There are more mods, but this is where we stopped. We figured if we were going to go any further, it just makes more sense to get the enduro model. But for riders who like tinkering, a different exhaust, like the FMF Gnarly, will give more grunt and knock a bit off the top end power. You can use the 250 EXC cylinder head, CDI and muffler to soften the power delivery. It's often easy to arrange a swap with a 250 EXC rider who is chasing more power. Also, you can get the cylinder head reshaped, you can fit low tension reeds, change the porting, or change the base gasket to adjust the compression. So let's take this baby for a spin and see what the changes have done.
Wow, this engine feels so much more controllable now. It really was just such a handful before, but now you can get on the pipe without it just going insane. Oh, it's so much smoother now. I wasn't even game to wheelie it the other day, but now. Okay, a 250 EXC. This is going to be very interesting to compare it to the SX modifications. Well, I'd say the SX definitely has more poke. I mean, despite all those mods, the the SX still isn't quite as gentle as this. And look, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But I think the SX just has more power all up at low anti-rev. So it'll be interesting to see what Pete says.
Pete took the SX for a ride and agreed it definitely had more power across the rev range than the EXC. The throttle response was faster and the power came on more aggressively. His verdict? Great for the experienced rider, and I would tend to agree. For guys at our level and style of riding, this sort of power can be fun, but we will be faster and safer with the more gentle power of the EXC. Just for a third opinion, I got one of our other guys to ride the SX. He was grinning ear to ear when he got off. But he did admit, despite loving the power, he probably would wind up hurting himself. So what else? It has to be geared down. This 13 and 48 tooth sprocket setup is way too high, and I keep bogging it down on our steeper climbs. Also, the suspension and tyres certainly need some attention. We'll look at all of these in coming episodes.